working on writing an episodic series. Maybe you've seen it. And this is how I have been keeping track of everything that I've been writing. However, I've officially outgrown my space. It goes on a little bit further this way. These cards are mostly ideas that I have for the future down the line when I continue to expand the story. As you can see, I thought I was going to have 10 episodes in my first season, but I'm having too much fun, so I have to write more. I ran out of note cards a couple weeks ago, so I've used other random things like parts of old receipts in order to continue writing down my ideas. But eventually I said, okay, I'm gonna get new note cards. Let me just start a note on my phone and I will just add all of my ideas in there for now. So today's the day that I am not only going to reorganize all of my note cards and add all of the ideas that have yet to be written down onto note cards, but this is getting moved. I am incredibly fortunate that I have a huge closet in my bedroom, and that closet happens to have floor-to-ceiling mirrors that slide back and forth. So I'm going to take all of my note cards, reorganize them, and put them up on the mirrors so I can effectively have a moving storyboard. And I'm very excited. Most of the time, writing my ideas down on a note card after I've been brainstorming really helps me to remember what the heck I was thinking. But sometimes I get things that are completely random and I'm like, what? For example, only children are weird. What does this mean? Let's get started.
Even though I've always loved working with children, I never saw myself becoming a nanny. I actually was approached by someone in an airport, and that's how I became a nanny in the first place, but that's a story for another day. So I think children are absolutely hilarious, and even though being a nanny was one of the most exhausting jobs I've ever had, it was incredibly fulfilling. Stepping into someone's home and watching their children is such an intimate way to get to know anyone, no matter who they are. There are so many different dynamics at play, and I always found myself deeply invested in everyone's success and happiness, but also had to remember that this was my job, so it felt like I should be keeping a level of distance or professionalism. But of course that's practically impossible because of all the time we're spending together. Originally, I thought I would turn my collection of ideas into a screenplay inspired by all of these different families I had worked for, but as hard as I tried, it just felt too limited. So that said, these stories in this series are not exact retellings of what I experienced. Rather, they're a conglomeration of events and personalities and my imagination. And I think if you've ever been a nanny, or maybe if you've ever had a nanny, you'll find plenty of nuggets of truth in there.